Hey guys, this is Coach E Kong, and this is my weekly vlog, New Vision for Your Nutrition, my unfiltered perspective, tips, and advice on health. Today, we're going to look at some information regarding cold weather. Let's get into it. Of course, today's title is 4 Cold Weather Health Tips. Okay, and so let's kind of get into it. So the first thing they mention on this article is in regards to the immune system. And so I'm just going to give you a little bit of an insight of what the article kind of, speaks on. And then again, like I said, I'm going to give you my take on it. So it says the immune system, it says during winter months, most people spend more time inside and in close contact with each other, such as stores, malls, and restaurants. This means that the flu, cough, and colds are more likely to basically spread. And so what it basically is saying is that in the holiday season or the cold weather seasons, more times than not, where people congregate and kind of group up, different sicknesses due to the fact that you're in close proximity and for the fact that your immune system is low. And so those things together cause a perfect storm for you to get sick. So what it says to combat that is it says flu shot. Of course, flu shots are pretty debatable. And then it says hand sanitizer and cough into the crooks of your elbow, not your hands. A lot of people don't know. And this is Dr. Salomon who's providing this, just so make sure that he gets his credit. So the crux of your arm too, a lot of people don't know, right there at the point of your elbow, you're actually supposed to be coughing and sneezing into that part and not into your hands. You should look like you're dabbing, on them anytime you're sick. So that is something that should come natural. One thing I wanted to add to that in my daily life is, whenever I'm greeting my fellow brother or sister, I'll normally, do some elaborate handshake, and normally it's an open handshake. And so uh, the best thing for me that I found is, a fist bump. Closed hand fist bump has been a go-to, and most of you guys probably can kind of agree that that keeps you, keeps the love solid, but it also kind of keeps you safe from any germs and things that could contract or bleed through. More so adults. You don't want to be just in the presence of people who are sick all the time, just assuming that your immune system is so strong that you're good. You definitely want to try to minimize, without being rude, just kind of minimize the time that you're around that person, and do your best to avoid that. That kind of goes to a tricky subject that I also wanted to point out as kids. A lot of my friends are parents, and they're very loving to their kids, whether or not they're sick. And so it's one of those things for me. Again, I don't want to, I'm not a parent, I want to speak on that, but I do believe that there's still ways to show affection without actually engaging in some of the same type of, I say, um, forms of affection. This cold weather acts as a vasoconstrictor, which means that it narrows the blood vessels and raises the risk of heart attack. That's pretty drastic, but they said what you can do is dress warmly going out. It mentions hats, gloves, and a warm coat. Don't do anything strenuous outdoors that may stress the heart. Now, as a trainer, I don't necessarily feel like cold weather should be a deterrent for you to not feel like you can do strenuous work. In fact, I encourage strenuous work, because what that actually allows your body to do is, while you're, in the cold weather, I feel like conditioning your body throughout the season is always going to benefit you more than not. Is dress warm, um, and kind of, pack enough of a coat, to where just to transition from your car to the gym and from your gym to the car is a safe transition. And what I mean by that is, don't believe you're Superman and leave out there with go through a heavy exerted workout, and leave the gym and just try to run to your car. I always say put your pride aside, especially me as a guy. It's like, the car's right there. I should be fine. Put your pride aside. Put something, warm over yourself. Zip yourself up, and then, just give your body an opportunity or a chance to avoid getting sick. Next thing on here is balance. Number 3 is balance. And it speaks about icy sidewalks can make falling easier and put you at risk. And then it mentions boots, textured soles, grips, use handrails. I think those are all good things, especially if you're in a northern area where it gets cold and it gets really inclement as far as ice and sleet and snow and excessiveness of that. I'm in Texas, so we don't necessarily have the excessive weather like that. It gets cold, but likely we don't get ice as often as some other areas. Wherever I'm going, I'm making sure that the path is clear and that I'm actually going to be not running into them or getting any surprises. So just kind of being aware, kind of, common sense, but kind of just still being aware of the ground and, where exactly you're going, the path you're taking. Okay. And then lastly, just look at skin. It says dry winter air can suck the moisture out from your skin. And to combat that, its resolution is to get a moisture with the oil base, block evaporation, shower in lukewarm or hot water, and use a humidifier to replenish moisture on the top layer of skin. Again, good things. This is where I excel, because this is the part of skincare is pretty important to me, especially as a guy. Like, I really try to take my skin into consideration. Like, I exfoliate, I try to take hot showers, and I try to, before I shave, I try to keep my skin warm, or open my pores, make sure everything's right, as far as grooming. And so skincare is really important. And so with cold weather, I feel like it's even more important with how the elements can affect your skin. And so for me, man, the go-to since I've been a little kid has been Vaseline. Now that could be cultural, but I believe everybody should be able to use Vaseline. If they want to sponsor me, they definitely can, but I have no sponsors or anything. So when I mention any products, understand it's because I either use them or really like the product or have used them in the past. And it's Kerry. So Kerry is the company that I use, and they have this cocoa butter lotion. And guys, let me tell you, it is probably one of the best ones. As a matter of fact, it's so now for some people it's thick. It's got a thick texture. It's kind of pasty, what have you. It's almost like glue. But I love it because it goes on really smooth, and once it actually is on you, you literally feel like warm, like it. And so I say keep your head warm, keep your feet warm, and that normally covers your body. Tips. These are the 4 cold weather health tips. And these things will help to provide a safer, more enjoyable season as we're dealing with this cold. And so hopefully something helped you. If you have a tip or you have something that you feel like was missed in this, as far as a tip or something that you do personally that would be helpful, just put it down here in the comments, and I promise you, I think it would help out someone, especially someone who actually has cold all year long. I think that would be great to get anything new to stay warm. And so that's it, guys. My name again is Coach Ekong. Follow me on all my social sites, either at Coach Ekong on Facebook or at The Life Changer. And like I said, comment, share this if this is helpful, and subscribe. And I thank you so much for your time. Again, Coach Ekong. Visit me at lifechanging.com. Y'all have a good one. All right. One.